a lot of people who come in with a lot of anxiety. And so there's been a lot of techniques like tapping, and there's the mirror technique. There's also different ones, and they're all coming from the same kind of psychosensory neuropsychosensory input to clear some of the energy things that we've got going on. And I've been doing energy healing for a while now. And what I've discovered is that if we have anxiety or fear or any kind of just feeling unsettled, it affects our bodies and ultimately can turn into disease. And so the whole premise of all of this that we're doing is, can we take our parasympathetic and become less fight or flight and become more calm, so that in times like this, can we be our best when basically the shit is hitting the fan, which is what's happening right now. So I don't know, there have been a few articles lately, but Justin Bieber, and I think one of you saw that he has Lyme disease, and he's been doing havening, I think also because of the paparazzi and the anxiety that it causes him because of being chased all the time. So he truly is in fight or flight, being chased by paparazzi. And so havening basically is starting to go a little bit more mainstream, still not as well known as tapping, but honestly, I think it's easier and faster. So let's just go around, or not go around, but Sarah, you're on. What's your level of anxiety of this whole pandemic, whether it's economic? Pick one. Like, you know, are you worried about food? Or you don't even have to tell me exactly what it is, but like, what's your level of anxiety right now from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's extremely high and 0, you have none?
I would say that it really shifts day to day and moment to moment, if I'm going to be totally honest about that. And I did a yoga class this morning, so I'm feeling less so today.
Okay.
But mostly I've been probably between a 6 and an 8, and really mostly related to the financial component of it, and you know, wanting to support my team and my community and my members, and not knowing how, and feeling sort of powerless in a lot of things.
Okay, so at this moment in time, are you a 6 or an 8?
At this moment in time, I'm about a 6.
Okay. Elaine, how about you? Where are you? Like, in your level of anxiety is, what do you think your anxiety is, Elaine?
Well, I have to say mine varies also. I had the flu that lasted for 6 weeks. And literally, like, I'm just starting to feel a little better from the flu. Which was also anxiety producing for me because I wasn't getting better. So I was already in my house for over a month before this pandemic started. So mine varies also from, I would say, 6 to 8. That sounds about right for me. And
where you are right now, if you think about it or feel it in your body, is that an 8 or a 6 right now at this moment in time?
And the other thing is, I used to do yoga every day, and I haven't been able to do even online yoga because of being sick. So that's
right.
Yeah. So right now, I don't know, maybe 7.
Okay, Erica, how about you? Erica, are you there?
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
I just can't see you. I'm only seeing myself. Somebody, the host sent me, so I'm looking at myself.
Okay, let me see if I can. Here we go.
Here, I just undid the spotlight. I just thought it was easier to. So now you should be able to see people.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you can maybe see me.
Okay,
So,
yeah, Erica.
Yeah, I would have to echo what other folks have said, namely that it does vary a lot from day to day. Luckily, I have been able to get more into a rhythm with regard to my running, which always helps me a lot. And I naturally have kind of a lot of anxiety, so I would say it's more than normal for me during this time, just because of the uncertainty. And yeah, probably around a 7.
Okay, 7. How about you, Diane? What are you at? What level are you at?
I'm actually pretty calm. My biggest anxiety is not being able to be with my family because they're
Okay.
in Toronto and New York, and we have things planned that I'm worried that I won't be. I mean, I'm supposed to go in May. Who knows what will happen if we'll still be shut down by then. So that's a little anxiety producing, but and also I'm not able to work out. I usually do something every day, and I'm doing stuff online. It's just not the same.
Yeah. So what level? Let's just do
you know what,
the
for
family.
me, okay, honestly, it's about a 3 or a 4.
Okay, for your family.
Yeah, because I mean, I just always believe I know it's going to work out. I know it's going to be okay.
Perfect. So let's just start. Let's just say you're at a 4.
Okay.
Marcel, how about you? What level of anxiety do you feel from all of this? Just give a number.
I think in this moment, I'm at about a 7.
Okay. And then we have one more person. I forgot her name, who has Lyme disease.
It's Reagan.
Reagan.
I know it might be annoying to some, but I don't like that label, and I don't feel like I have Lyme disease. I think.
Okay. So whatever that is, whatever it is.
Yeah. I just like to not be put in that box, but I would say right now my level is probably like a 5, but it definitely goes up. Like.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let's just start. So now we got a sort of a baseline. You guys all have a baseline of where we're at. So what I want you to do, all you do is you hold your hands like this.
Oh no,
And
I lost everybody.
Okay.
I can
you see me?
No, I lost the whole thing.
Are you on an iPad or what device are you on?
I'm on my computer, my laptop. Oh no, I lost.
Just go down to the bottom and click on Zoom again.
Okay, I got you back.
All right. So how we're going to do this is everybody just start by doing this. You're going to cross your arms and you're going to caress and stroke your arms. And the basis of this is that we are they've done studies like in Romania where these children in the orphanages that were not held had failed to thrive syndrome.
Can you go back? Because you got muted and I don't think any of us heard you.
Oh, okay. So in Romania, they had an orphanage and these babies were not held and they basically died. So we are programmed to be touched. So if you can imagine, as we're doing this, this is like a mother's touch or grandmother's touch to you. So you want to be as gentle and as kind and as loving to yourself as you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do this, rubbing your arms up and down, and you're going to close your eyes. And as we close your eyes, you're going to count out loud with me, and you're going to imagine yourself walking down a beautiful beach. And as we walk, I'm going to count each step out loud, and you're going to see vividly each footstep that you take in the sand at the beach. And then we're going 1, keep stroking your arms. 2, see the beach. 3, the sand between your toes. 4, the sun at the beach is shining. 5, the breeze on your face. 6, seeing the ocean. 7, feeling the sand and each step. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Keep walking in your mind. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, keep rubbing your arms. I'm going to stop, but keep rubbing your arms. And now open your eyes and look at my finger. Now you're going to open your eyes and you're going to keep rubbing your arms, and you're just going to let your eyes go right and left. I'm going to back up a little bit, right and left. And you may be able to go right and left. Keep your head still and just look right and left. You don't need my finger now that you know how to do this. And keep rubbing your arms, looking right, left, right, left. And now you're going to close your eyes again, and we're going to hum Happy Birthday. Now you're going to open your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. And that's it for round 1. So everybody, let's see. Reagan, you're on my screen right now. You are at 5 or 4? What do you feel like you're at now?
I would say like a 4.
Okay. Sarah, how about you? Anybody? Sarah? Diane?
Sarah's muted. That was really lovely. I'll go 3. I'll go down 1.
Yeah. Erica or Elaine?
I would say a 6 now.
Okay. And Marisol or anybody else?
I feel soothed by it. I think it's about getting out of my head when I'm thinking about the things that are causing anxiety.
So what number are you at now?
I guess I'll say I was at a 7 to start. Maybe I'll just say 6 at this point.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So everybody went down about 1. Sometimes it can go down about 2. Let's see. So the next one it's the same process, but this time we're going to do our hands. So again, you want to touch your hands as if somebody is kindly and gently stroking yourself. And the reason it's called havening is because you're going to your own haven, your own place of calmness. And so what you're doing is you're giving yourself the love and the touch that we need as humans. And it's really important right now as we are all self-isolating in our quarantine, and that's what we're going to be doing is you're just going to be just lovingly caressing yourself. And it's really no different if you see people, we've been doing it. We're just being conscious of it. Because so like you've seen people wring their hands when they have anxiety. Well, we're consciously doing it, but we're also consciously doing it in a more loving way to ourselves. So it's the same thing. Everybody close your eyes, and you're going to keep doing this to your hands as you close your eyes. So you're going to close your eyes, and this time we're going to take another 20 steps, and we're going to walk this time in a forest. So as we're going to walk slowly, if you can count out loud with me. If not, and I think counting out loud for some reason makes a difference. So if you can count out loud, let's do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See yourself in the forest. 6, and the leaves are blowing in the wind. 7, each step. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And keep rubbing your hands. And this time you're going to dart your eyes to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Everyone close your eyes. And now hum Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And everybody take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. All right. Now, the reason why we're humming is because that relaxes. If you see, when you hum, you're relaxing your neck and a different parasympathetic system turns on. So we are getting out of, again, if you're running in fight or flight, you're likely not humming. You are probably, if you're in a stressed out state, you're not going to be humming. But we hum to our children, our babies, when they're infants. So it's a very calming kind of thing to do. If you guys are in a stressful situation, let's just say you're driving, and humming actually will keep the tension down in your body. And then in terms of why we're darting our eyes, it will take us out of a beta state and move us from an alpha to a delta state. Something about this really keeps, there's something in the eyes. I don't know if some of you have done EMDR, but if you're looking back and forth, then your eyes will begin to loosen your tension down. If we were doing this in person, I would actually watch where your eyes are twitching. So you'll feel like, oh, there's like a jump here. I'll see like the eyeballs literally jump. And then I'd say to you, well, stare at a point in that section. And you could do this for yourself too. Like, oh, this uncomfortable right here. And then they'll go, okay, well, is it up here or in the middle or down? And then you would just stare at a point in space for like 3 to 5 minutes. And it's very uncanny because our brain is actually putting a little memory right there. And then if you stare at that point long enough, your body will begin to unravel whatever tension you have in that point in space. It's uncanny, but it definitely does work. And so we can do it with one of you, or you guys just practice it on your own. So let's get a little feedback. Sarah or Erica, where are you at just doing the hands? Do you feel like you dropped another one?
I think I'm down to like a 2 right now.
Okay. Erica, how about you?
So Erica, I can okay, Erica, you're unmuted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think I'm down to a 5, and
Okay.
I think the humming really helped too.
Yeah. And how about you, Elaine or Diane?
Yeah, I'm feeling really relaxed.
I'd say I was at about a 5.
Okay. So everybody's moving in the right direction. We're coming down. So then this is in our time of the pandemic. The hands, there's one more where you could do the hands on your face. Now, after, maybe we don't want to be doing this, but I can teach it to you. You guys are all at home. Your hands are probably pretty clean at this point. So it's the same thing. And this time you're going to rub your face, and you really want to stroke it like your mother is stroking you, like somebody who just loves you is stroking your face. And so you're just going to do this, and we're going to count to 20. But if you're not comfortable stroking your face or whatever, your hands are dirty, you can always go back to this. This is easy to do. You're not going to dirty your face, and you don't have to have clean hands per se to stroke your arms. But let's do the face. Let's try it out. And we're going to go. This time we're going to go. Close your eyes, and we're in a park, and you're going to rub your face down. And we're really stroking and caressing it. 1, 2, 3. You're in the park. 4. It's a beautiful day. 5. It's sunny. 6. The grass is green. 7. You're grateful to be outside. 8. 9. 10. You see your foot walking. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Open your eyes and you want to look left, right, left, right, left, right. And then close your eyes again. And then you're going to hum, let's see, what should you hum? Yankee Doodle. And then take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. All right. Marisol, where are you at right now in terms of your level of anxiety? Or anybody else?
I'm down to a 5.
Yeah. Let's see, Sarah. Or Erica.
I think I'm about the same, but I did find it relaxing.
Yeah. And Reagan or Regan?
Yeah, it's definitely relaxing. I noticed that it's like, it's really connected to like how we care for ourselves too. Like, cause I noticed that it's like you can easily fall into this zone where you're not caressing yourself, but you're like pushing on yourself, and you realize you're like, oh, that's how I'm not loving myself. Like I can go back to like this soft, like, it's okay. Like, but it's easy to see how we're like pushing ourselves to be like, okay, like, oh, you know, and then I had to be like, oh, like I need to be more gentle with myself, you know?
Right. Like, just get through this.
Yeah. I like made that connection.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to sleep now.
Right. And so I sometimes suffer from insomnia, and I have done this in bed. I'll lay in bed and my husband's next to me and it's dark, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna do this while I'm in bed, and then I'll dart my eyes. I mean, clearly it's dark, so I can't see anything, but it's fascinating how the body knows how to just calm itself down, particularly with the touch. And I can't tell you enough, like, this is literally perfect for this kind of pandemic, because we are not with other people, but we can certainly do this for ourselves, right? It's the touch is amazing. I mean, at this point in time, people are scared to shake hands, kiss, hug. We're not getting the touch we need. And as humans, it is primal. So, Elaine, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little less like 4 maybe.
Yeah, right. And so sometimes what we see is, like, when people have anxiety, the anxiety never started here. The anxiety starts, it's like PTSD. People who come back from war, what they discovered is that the anxiety is not, the PTSD was not from the actual war event. It's stacked from something that happened when you were 20, and then when you were 10, and when you were 5, and that gives you it, and it unravels. If you can unravel what happened at 5, you're more likely to unravel what happened when the trauma happened, for whatever PTSD event that actually happened for you. So just to know that, like, sometimes what happens is when you start doing this, strange memories will come up. And I'll give you an example. So I was working with somebody, and we were just doing it for, I go, well, what's bothering you? And he said, okay, so this is what happened. And then he realized a memory came up that was related to one of his parents who basically was mentally ill, but he had put it in a little box, and he was holding it and tamping it down, and he said, I forgot about this memory. And this was a significant memory. And then he said, oh my, and just tears started rolling down his eyes. And after he released that by just havening and staring at a point in space, he was staring at the point in space, tears coming down his eyes. And then soon it was just going less and less and less and less. And then he was done. And he's a swimmer, and he dropped a lot of time because he wasn't wasting his energy trying to keep that memory holed up and hidden from himself. He was able to release it, and it made him free enough to go and swim faster. Since I mostly work with a lot of athletes, Olympic level athletes, I can give you another case study where the mind and the body and the spirit are all connected. So I'm coaching this person, and she's on the Russian national team. So this is not a swimmer who's very talented. And she gets up on the diving block, and we're not talking diving from a 3-meter diving platform. We're just talking just to dive into the water. And I was watching her, and I was correcting her, and she couldn't correct her dive. And what I said to her, I said, are you afraid of heights? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, wow. So you're an elite athlete who's afraid of heights. Fortunately, you don't have to dive that far. So right there on the pool deck, we go and clear this. And again, she starts crying. I said, well, I said, you were a little kid when this happened. And she said, yes, I was 3 years old, and I fell off the couch. And that's why I'm afraid to dive. And she's 20 years old, and she's still living with this fear from being a 3-year-old. We do the havening, we stare at a point, and within 3 dives, she's starting to look like all the other swimmers. And it's amazing to watch instantly. No amount of correction with her intellect or my intellect telling her what to do could change her dive. And we clear it by doing havening and staring at a point, and she immediately dives almost perfectly. And it wasn't practice. Like, her body was guarding herself from getting hurt again. And that's really what we're doing. When we're doing havening, we're releasing anything that's saying in our minds, our subconscious mind saying, hey, we are going to protect you from ever getting hurt again, in whatever way your mind came to the conclusion. So in the case of the girl who fell off the couch, that was her mind subconsciously saying, I am never going to let you get hurt again. And so I'm going to stop you. I'm going to do this simple behavior physically and mentally so that you will never get hurt again. And so that's why she was stuck where she was. But as soon as we got rid of it, boom, she was able to dive almost perfectly without any coaching, and because her body knew what to do. But until we cleared the fear and the anxiety of doing it a certain way, then she wasn't able to go past that. Does anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Regan. Can someone unmute her? Okay.
Am I unmuted?
Regan? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I think you are. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I didn't really understand the staring at a point in space. Can you explain that again? I know we just do this for a while, and then we look left and right and then close our eyes and hum a song for a couple seconds. But is staring at a point in space separate from that process?
Yeah, so I added that onto there. Regular havening does not have staring at a point. It's just darting your eyes left and right. I think it's more effective.
You got cut out for the first part of that. I don't know if that's only my computer freezing, but
That's
Okay,
just,
I'll say it.
that's
I'll
just,
say it again. Okay, so what happens is in regular havening, they're just looking right and left. But I have also learned this technique called brain spotting, and what it does is it's particularly with it works really, really well with athletes who've had some sort of like concussion or some sort of fall, and their bodies will remember where they fell. So like if you're a soccer player or a gymnast or a diver or somebody and you fell and you're like looking at this point, and your brain is so brilliant that it will catalog that, and it will know where it is where you fell at that point. And so then the brain will go, okay, right here is a dangerous spot. Where I'm staring right here is very uncomfortable. And so the vision will actually peg this point, a neurological point in your mind, and will go, that is a dangerous point if I stare right here, because that's where I got hurt. That's its memory point. And then if you continue staring at that point where you feel uncomfortable, your body will begin to relax. It's very strange, but if you continue to do it, then it will go, okay, it will process whatever didn't get finished processing, and it'll continue processing it until suddenly it dissipates and is gone. So that's called brain spotting. So I've combined havening with brain spotting, but regular havening is just eyes darting back and forth. Was that a good, did you understand that, Regan, or did I lose you? Are you there?
Yeah, that makes sense. But how do you find the spot?
Okay, perfect.
Like,
so go ahead. What you want to do is take your finger and go like this, and go ahead and put your finger right in front of you. And then you want to go right and left and just feel your body. Just go slow enough to like, okay, like right here, my stomach feels a little bit tense, or my throat feels a little bit tense. You found a spot, right? Right there. And then go up. Is it higher, or is it right there, or is it lower? So is it the middle, the bottom, or the top? Your body knows.
okay. Yeah, that's
All right. And then
that's weird how much you know.
yeah, your body knows. So now you're just going to stare at that for 3 to 5 minutes. And yeah, just stare right there. And sometimes you can put your finger up, and what happens is, if you watch, like sometimes out here it's uncomfortable, and then you start bringing it in, then you clear it, then come in a little bit closer, like, oh, that's really scary. I mean, little people will say, this is scary. My finger is sitting right here staring at it is really scary. And so you just keep looking at it, and your body will process. And then sometimes strange memories will come up, and you go, oh my gosh, that's where I've done it with a client where he was staring at that point, and then all of a sudden his memory flooded in. He goes, oh my gosh, that's where they brought the hook in to save me from drowning. Like, they'll remember, like, that's where it was. And people go, oh, I can't remember my memories from a child. And then all of a sudden they come flooding in, because I just remember, and it kind of makes sense. Like, I was studying this Jesuits, that how they remember the oral, because they used to memorize the Bible, right? That's how they did it. They would put it on little pegs. They would actually make these little pegs, and they would peg the oral history or whatever they were trying to memorize into these little pegs, which kind of makes sense on a visual level. We have pegs as well. We have pegs of where our little traumas happened, and then they get stuck right there. But if we take the time to let it process, we can actually dissipate where that memory was stuck and move it and get rid of it, so that we can have more freedom of movement with our body and our mind in alignment with each other. Fascinating, right? You guys have to try it out. Like, try it out on something. Like, if you have like a, I don't know, like a phobia or something, try it out for yourself. It's pretty fascinating to do. I've had enough experience with athletes to know, like, this is pretty phenomenal, and it's so easy. And we don't have to talk. We don't have to say anything. I can just, like, one line, you can feel your body, stare at it, and then, oh, wow, I feel better.
So can I say something?
Yeah.
So you're saying that if you do this and you just stare at a point, that a disturbing memory might come up?
Not necessarily. I mean, it can, or it just, some people don't even remember anything. So for me, when I work with people, I can actually feel them. I go, oh, I feel like crying now. And they're absolutely passive, like nothing. You see nothing on their face, because I know it's not me. I'm like feeling them. They go, oh, look, I feel like crying. I'm like, oh, and I'm watching them. They're not crying. Oh, my throat is like feeling funny right now. I'm still watching them. It's them. It's like I'm watching them process, and they may or may not know anything that's going on, but I can feel what they're doing, and like, oh, nope, you're not done yet. Keep staring. Oh, I can feel it. They're free. It's again, if you don't have anybody working with you, just be patient with it, because something might come up. Some emotion might come up with no memory. It could be suddenly you're breathing more, or maybe you start like some emotional thing. Maybe you'll start burping. Funny things will happen. We don't know. It's what your body's doing to process whatever it needs to process out of wherever it needs to go. But we're releasing any kind of stuck energy. And the Chinese have been talking about like blocked qi, and qi that gets blocked is qi that gets stuck, that will cause some sort of symptoms in our bodies. So if we can move whatever we can move so it's all flowing, then we're going to be in a better state. Any other questions? Elaine, did that kind of explain that to you? It doesn't necessarily have to be memories.
Kind of. I mean, I understand what you're saying intellectually. I don't,
Until you experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the meditation that I do.
Yeah.
You have to get to a point where you experience it before you really understand.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise it's intellectual is intellectual, but knowing is experiencing it. Right. And understanding. Yeah. It's application of the knowledge.
Wilma, can I ask you a couple questions? Just
of course.
Of where we are right now in support of everyone. Can you sort of give some tips on like how often would we be doing this every day right now? And, what might that look like in specifically challenging moments?
Yes. So for you, how it's varying from like 6 to 8 throughout the day, throughout the week. I think we are getting new stress and anxiety every day based on, okay, so is the National Guard coming? Are we going into shortages? What's the supply chain? How are we going to support our families? How are we going to support our business? Every day we're getting new stress. So I think just like we take a shower, this is kind of like a shower. Right? If you can just check in with yourself. Where am I right now? Okay, maybe right now we're only at a 3, but tomorrow when we get new news that is maybe not so favorable to us, we got to keep going. We just like, let's get it down. And here's the thing, for a lot of us, we really want to get it down to a 0. And sometimes what you're going to discover is in order for you to get to a 0, you're going to have to go to a past memory, because again, it's never just here, right? This could be related to, I'll throw this out, like to a previous boyfriend or something, like I don't even know, right? So it oh yes, and then it's like, oh, I'm not really worried about money, but this reminds me of that time when I was 20 years old and I didn't have any money to pay for the bus fare. I'm just making something up. So, and that memory will show up and you're like, oh, well, this is an opportunity to let go of that. Because we're holding on. As we get older, we have more and more and more and more memories. So, and not all of them they just accumulate. So I think you just use it just like we wash our hands, we take this time to wash our emotions and anxiety out of our bodies.
But there is no too much that we could do it if it's a particularly anxiety provoking moment.
Yeah, I would think the more you do it for people, the better you're going to feel. I think that's the experience I have had. The more you do it, like even just now we did it with you and I could already feel myself like, oh, I didn't realize I was holding on to some anxiety. I had some that just got clear. I didn't even know it was there. And I could just I feel happier. And I mean, if we can all just be happier during this time, think about how much mental health that we can be spreading to our friends and family. We can literally be in a place of joy and gratitude and just sanity. Neutrality, really.
Raise the collective consciousness just
yes.
and by dropping down back into our hearts and into our bodies and not bringing our nervous systems down.
Yes,
it helps on so many levels. And I really appreciate how quick it is as well, that this isn't like you don't have to meditate for an hour to get this effect.
Yeah.
It's a really quick thing.
Yeah, and I think what's really important about this is it is touch base. It's touch base for yourself. Now, you have a partner, and I have done it with people, I mean, obviously in this time frame, but if you ever want to do it on your partner, this is pretty amazing too. So you just, if, instead of crossing your arms like this, if they were beside me, I would just go down their arms like this. I would go up and down. And I have seen couples cry. I mean, I don't think we as humans we are not immune to this touch. If someone is taking the time to be loving to us and caress us, and I'm not talking in a romantic way, I'm talking about in just a loving, caring way, we will break down. We will break down in a good way, right? Because it's human to human. It's this kind of compassionate, loving quality that most of us are missing on a day-to-day basis. And then you would do it like this. Imagine if there was someone, you would just stroke their arms down. For the hands, you would do it like this to somebody else. You would just stroke their hand like this. So you would be facing each other and you could touch each other. You would touch his hands like this or her hands. And then for face, if your hands are clean and you're okay with it, just again, touching someone like this. And it is so it's like, oh, why aren't we doing more of this as couples? Or to family members where we can feel this intimacy. And again, I'm not talking romantic intimacy. It can go to romantic intimacy, but I'm just talking from soul to soul, heart to heart, human to human.
Do you keep your eyes closed?
You can keep your eyes open and just, boy, if you watch them, it's like, it is so deep, so deep. And if you have children, I mean, I feel teary-eyed myself because I've seen it and I've done it, and it's just, we're missing out. We really are missing out on this. And what this sort of pandemic has kind of taught, opened my eyes to, is how much are we missing as humans, just being in contact with each other, right? Just talking to people, but touching them. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
Well, so it's particularly hard if you don't have a partner and you live alone.
Yes, and that's why we all start here. This is it. We got to start. If you're not loving yourself, it's very hard to really be in loving with somebody else. And if you're home alone, this is an incredible solution, because most of us don't really have time to do it with other people. Very rarely do I see people doing it. Really, we do it for ourselves. Do it to yourself. And then, because I'm not a licensed psychologist, I'm not a licensed anybody, I'm not allowed to touch anybody. So that's why I do this. I'm not touching anybody, You know, I'm not really, this is not talk therapy. We don't talk much, and we just do this, and we can still get it done. There's a lot of good results without me touching, just touching yourself and doing your self-soothing. Anybody else have a question?
No, but it's great. It's so interesting. And spell it, Havening?
Havening, like a self-haven.
Like haven. Okay.
Yeah.
Haven.
I have I'll send this to Sarah. It's a link to a British guy named Paul McKenna. And he just, you know, you can follow along 20 minutes. He does this only. He doesn't do any of these things. But you can look it up. There's a lot of information on YouTube and some of the science behind it. I didn't go by the science, mostly because I really just want you guys to experience this. If you want to do it more on an intellectual level, go do your research. Yeah, be curious.
We'll
Keep
share
learning.
some on our Facebook page as well.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you so much. Well, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, is it Elaine?
Yes.
Yeah, like I live alone as well, so I totally relate to you. And I just want you to know that we're all at OsteoStrong. We're thinking about you and a lot, and everybody that's kind of just like in this together. And something that I've had to tap into, which this is helping a lot. Thank you for teaching us this as well. Is that, like, you know, we can give ourselves this, but like you can also just connect to like the consciousness of any person, whether they're with you physically or not. So like, I know that there's just like people that I'm just connected to, and like, I've had to just accept that like, maybe they're not here in physical form, and like, it's okay, but like they really are, you know? And it's like, I just feel like a sense that we can, I mean, obviously, like maybe this is just my way of thinking, and it may or may not work for you, but just realizing like you're never really alone, and like, you know, that touch you can give to yourself, but it's also like you can imagine that it is someone else, and in a sense, it is the consciousness of that connection. Like I've had groups where we like send a virtual hug through like the ethers or whatever, and it's like you really can feel it when somebody is just sending you that intention, you know. And I've even had like healers doing work through this where they're doing the pendulum, like reading something with a pendulum, and they're like doing it over online, and I'm not even there in person. So, you know, just like you feel us right now, like we aren't there in person, but you can feel it anytime. I'm like just grateful to be reminding myself of that through this class. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yes. Sending you much love, Elaine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wilma. This has been really wonderful, and we have recorded it, and we will have this posted on our new Strong Talks Online site for everyone.
Sarah, thank you for doing this.
Yes.
With
Yes,
OsteoStrong,
thank you.
this is so
Thank
great.
you.
All the stuff that you're doing is really appreciated.
It's our pleasure to serve.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Alrighty.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Be safe
Thank
and
you.
healthy. Thanks
You
so
too.
much, Wilma.
Bye, Diane.